Aaron, can you describe what it was like to walk into this spring training as manager of the New York Yankees, and what do you view as your biggest challenge this spring?
Ooh. It was a bit surreal, but I've had a lot of those moments, I think, the last couple of months as we've started prepare for this season. It was special, walking down the hall, walking into the clubhouse, into my office, walking down to the dugout for the first time, kind of getting a lay of the land and feeling the facilities a little bit, and, you know, understanding that, you know, now is the time. And the excitement that goes with that because of the group of guys that we've assembled. So as far as the biggest challenge, you know, look, in spring training, it's about just getting these guys as individuals ready to play. And, you know, I think that's a little bit different for each guy. You know, we obviously we do things in a team concept and team building things, but I really view spring training as we need to get individuals ready to where they're performing at their best when we're breaking camp at the end of next month. And that looks a little bit different for everybody, depending on where guys are physically, where guys are maybe coming off an injury. But I think that's the biggest challenge, is really tapping into each guy and having them steering the right way when we leave here at the end of next month.
Okay, we have wireless mics on both sides of the room. Who else has questions? Jack, to your right.
Aaron, as you embark on this next part of your career, whose voice or voices are in your head, and what pieces of advice are in your head about making sure this is successful? Yeah,
I think, first of all, my dad, you know, he's been the biggest influence in my life, certainly my baseball life. You know, as most of you guys have known, I've talked to a few different managers, you know, frequently, that I've kind of picked their brains. You know, one of the things I remember when I first got traded to the Yankees was walking into Joe Torre's office and just his presence, his kind of soothing nature, his ability to put me at ease at the time in what's a whirlwind experience when you get traded as a player, especially coming to a place like New York. So hopefully I take a little piece of what I thought he was great at into this job.
Who else? Sweeney, front row.
Aaron, first-time managers always talk about how different it is managing a pitching staff. You've got a veteran pitching coach. How much are you leaning on Larry Rothschild to kind of guide you through? How much responsibility do you just give him? How much authority do you just give him to do it?
A lot. You know, when I interviewed for this job, one of the things I was aware of was that Larry Rothschild was one of the guys already on coming back no matter what, which frankly put me at ease a little bit because of the respect I have for him, because of what I know he is, and now getting the opportunity just to get to work with him. You know, we spent a couple days down here about a month ago as a staff, just kind of getting to know each other, getting our program up and running, making sure we're buttoned up as we get down here. You know, he's already been in my office a couple times today, and I frankly do a lot of listening because I want to hear what he has to say. He's so passionate. He's so good at what he does. And he's so organized in really having an action plan for each one of these guys. And so I'm leaning on him a ton. And I'm sure, especially in the early days, we'll lean on him even more. And I really respect his expertise and his ability to, you know, find strengths and weaknesses with guys and then be able to tap into those things. So I'm really excited that he's here, and I'm even more excited the last couple of days, just a few of the conversations we've started to have already as guys start to trickle in and we start to lay out the plans for each guy.
To your left, Brendan, and then Brendan, if you could pass it back to Hokie when you're done.
There's been a lot of talk about how in-game decision-making will be one of the biggest hurdles you'll have to cross as a young manager. Mm-hmm. Is there any way you can start preparing for that now? Have you started working on that? Can you work on that now?
Well, Absolutely. I think the more prepared, the more you know your guys, the more you know your strengths and weaknesses of guys, all that goes into, what comes out in the game, right? So I'm going to prepare. We're going to be buttoned up each and every night about kind of having a game plan, an action plan, how we want things to play out. And then hopefully the instincts that you have as a person, as a guy in control of the game, hopefully those come out in a positive way. But all that prep that goes in puts you in that position, and that's already started. Not only being here, but the last couple of months with getting to know the organization, getting to know each individual, strengths and weaknesses, what we have, what we expect out of them, what we think their role may be. Those all go into, I think, properly preparing you to make quality decisions within the course of the game.
Brian.
Aaron, expectations are obviously high for this team. Dellin Betances said, if you guys don't win the World Series, it's not going to be a great year. What would constitute a great year for you?
Well, he's right about the World Series would be a great year. We understand the expectations, and I think one of the things that's exciting for me is to hear some of those comments and to be around these guys as they've trickled in the last few days, as I've trickled in. Like, last year was great. A lot of these guys came of age and had a lot of, I think, viewed it as a very successful season. But I think what stands out being in that room right now is each guy I've spoken to, the hunger is there, and there's no satisfaction with what they are able to accomplish. So we understand it's a very tough road, and that'll be one of our messages, especially for young players that have had successes. Just because things look good right now or things look good on paper and we believe we have a great team, it's also really hard, and there's a lot of little things that can allow you to be a championship club, and those are the things we really want to dive into, especially starting here in spring training. But from what I can tell, the hunger in these guys is real.